I said, tonight's message is called Wait for It. You hear me? Listen, wait for it. It's one of the most difficult things that we have to do. There's so many of us. We want some breakthroughs to show up in our lives. We're waiting for that relationship to take place. Some of you say, you don't know, Andy. You telling me to wait for it. I've been waiting for a minute for that special someone. I've been waiting to find that perfect relationship. I've been waiting for a husband. I've been waiting for a wife. What do you mean wait on it? Do you know how long I've been waiting? Some of you are saying, what do you mean, Andy, wait for it? I've been waiting for that promotion. I've been waiting for that special opportunity at my career, at my job, and it's just not showing up. They keep passing me up on the promotion. They keep passing me up on the opportunity. And you're sitting here trying to tell me to wait for it. Listen, wait for it. Some of you are saying, wait a second, Andy, you don't understand. You don't understand. I've been out here working, trying to grow my business. I've been trying to have a breakthrough. I've been trying to pass the 6-figure mark. I've been trying to get to the multiple 6-figure mark. I've been trying to get to the 7-figure mark. And you trying to tell me to wait for it? You don't know. I've been working this business for the past 10 years. Listen carefully. Wait for it. And so you say, well, why do I say that? Listen, I stumbled across a quote by Lady of Mandy Hale, and I love this quote. And here's what she said. She said, if you're still waiting for it, listen carefully. Here's what she said. She said, if you're still waiting for it, what it means is that you're not ready for it. Now, whatever it may be for you, that it might be a relationship, that it might be the promotion, that it might be the breakthrough, that it for you, whatever it is, if you're still waiting for it, then there's a possibility that you're not ready for it. And so stop looking at waiting as punishment, but rather look at waiting as preparation time, as preparation season. I'm telling you, I got something for you tonight. So do me a favor before we get ahead and get started and jump right on in. Do me a favor, hit the share button, hit the share button. You probably got a friend, family member, somebody you're connected to that needs to hear tonight's message. And so one more time, listen carefully. My big question for you as we have this conversation is, why is it that we have such difficulty waiting? We live in a microwave type society. People do not want to wait. We don't want to wait on the finances to come through. We don't want to wait for the breakthrough. We don't want to wait for the opportunity. We don't want to wait for the promotion. We don't want to wait for our time to come. We want everything to happen right now in this moment, and it just doesn't work that way. And there's a lot of people who are so anxious and are really pursuing something and are convinced that they're ready for it. And the reality of it, if it were to show up right now, if that husband were to show up right now, if that wife were to show up right now, if that major promotion were to show up right now, if that windfall of money were to show up right now, if their business were to explode right now, guess what? They probably wouldn't even be ready for it. And so listen carefully. If you're still waiting for it, now, whatever it may be, if you're still waiting for it, listen carefully, you're probably not ready for it. And you say, well, wait a second, Andy, what do you mean I'm not ready for it? I've been putting in the time. I've been putting in the work. I've been making some things. Listen, there's a possibility that you still have some things that you need to do. There's a possibility that you need to still do some development. There's a possibility that you still need to continue to work on yourself. There's a possibility that you need to expand some of your skills. There's a possibility that you got to put the right support and the right infrastructure in place so that whatever it is that you're waiting for, so that when it actually comes, you'll be able to take full advantage of it. And so that really makes me wait. And before that makes me think about right now a particular story that I stumbled across. And I remember sitting down one day. I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna say right here, every once in a while, you know, I'll tune in and I watch on the OWN network. I watch Super Soul Sundays, and I am in fact a big Oprah Winfrey fan, and I love how what she's done in the industry and the people that she's brought forth and all the great things. And so I remember the big major sit down between Oprah Winfrey and Iyanla Vanzant. And so some of you may remember that sit down. Some of you may have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay, because I'm going to break it down for you and make you understand. So most of you at this point, you've heard of the name Iyanla Vanzant. She has a blockbuster show right now on the OWN network that is known as Ivanya. I always say her name improperly. Excuse me for that. But it says Iyanla Save My Life, right? Or Fix My Life is the name of the show. And so she finds people who have relationships. The relationships are in a bunch of strain. They're, I mean, all kind of dysfunctional families, dysfunctional marriages. And she comes in and she, with her hard-nosed type of advice, expert advice that she does, and a lot of times she's able to reconcile families and reconcile relationships and make some great things happen. But here's what a lot of people don't know. There's a backstory. Oprah and Iyanla actually came to be able to actually work with each other. And I want to share that with you because there's a powerful lesson for all of us to know. So if you remember back in the 90s, right, the Oprah Winfrey Show was probably the biggest, the baddest talk show out. I mean, people would rush home. Everybody wanted to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show. And there was a moment that the show went from being a show that was about drama and things going on, that it became a show that a lot of times people were showing up there because she was bringing on experts and people who could really be able to help people to change their lives. And what most people don't know is when you think about some of the big names like Susie Orman, big names like Dr. Phil, big names like Dr. Oz, all of them got their start really by being contributors on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Where back in the 90s, listen carefully, back in the 90s, there was a lady who was a phenomenal relationship expert that was coming on Oprah Winfrey Show as a regular. And that lady, her name is Iyanla Vanzant. And so she was a regular on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She would come on there. She would give relationship advice. She'd get the people fired up. She'd go ahead and share some things. And literally, people fell in love with her while she was on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And because of that, Oprah just continued to invite her back to the show and back to the show and back to the show. And because of her popularity growing while she was on the show, she was able to get a book deal. And her book deal was for over $1 million. And her coaching business at that time and all of the things she had going on was bringing in over $3 million. And so her popularity went through the roof because she kept showing up and kept being a contributor on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Now, but listen where the story starts to take a turn. And so what happened is, all of a sudden now, Iyanla Vanzant, she's on a repeated guest, always showing up, always being part of the Oprah Winfrey Show. And so what ends up happening is she ends up getting an offer to do a show herself by another network, right? And so we're not talking about doing a show with Oprah Winfrey. Even though Oprah Winfrey had all intentions of giving her show, she got an offer to do a show. And so when she got that offer, she went to Oprah Winfrey and Harpo Studios and said, listen, I would love to get my own show. I want to have my own show. And so Oprah said, listen, and Harpo Studios said, listen, we want you to have your own show, but we don't think that you're ready for your own show yet. We think that you should wait. Just wait a little bit. Oprah's going to continue to develop you. You got all kind of popularity right now. Just wait. We have something that we intend on doing with you. We intend on giving you your own show, but you just need to wait. We got to develop you. We got to continue to help you out. You being a guest on the show and you having your own show are two different things. And so they told Iyanla, they said, just wait. But guess what? She didn't want to wait. Nah, she didn't want to wait. And so there was an opportunity for her to go ahead and have her own show. And so what happened is she got offered by another mogul in the industry an opportunity to have her own show. So she decided to step out and exit away from being a guest on Oprah Winfrey's show. And that happened by default because she decided to go ahead and get her own show. Well, guess what happened? She went and tried to get her own show. The show didn't even last for more than one season, and the show went off the air, and her relationship with Oprah Winfrey became severed. Her popularity went down, and she went from having all of this success to now all of a sudden she lost all of the success that she had, and she found herself struggling again. And so it would be years later, years later, that her and Oprah Winfrey would have a sit-down talk about what happened at that moment. And there was a lot of dialogue and a lot of exchange that took place. But when I was watching that sit down and that conversation, what it showed me and what it taught me is a lot of times we want something so bad. We want to have the relationship. We want to get out of debt. We want to have the breakthrough. We want to make the 6 figures. We want to make the 7 figures. We want to live out our purpose. We want to do some great things. But what happens is a lot of times we don't want to wait. And we don't understand that a lot of times when you're waiting, you're actually preparing for the opportunity that you have not yet had. I'm going to say that one more time. A lot of times when you're waiting, you are actually hopefully working while you wait. Matter of fact, let me make sure you understand that. I'm not talking about just waiting and doing nothing. I'm talking about if you're willing to work while you wait, listen carefully. If you'll work while you wait, meaning that you continue to work on your gifts, your skills, your crafts, you continue to develop your skill set, you expand your mindset, you find ways to start developing community, forming relationships, and doing the things necessary. But if you can learn to work while you wait, oftentimes your waiting period is actually a preparation period. So you want to use your waiting time as preparation for the opportunity that you're seeking. And so what it means, ladies, for those of you who are saying out there, I am just waiting for my man, I am waiting for a husband. What it means is that during this time that you are waiting, then maybe perhaps you need to work on yourself and do some inner work and get rid of some of that old luggage, that old baggage that you've had that has caused you to continue to go from one negative relationship to another negative relationship. Listen, my wife is a relationship coach. She's a certified matchmaker. And so many of the people that she works with, they go from one toxic relationship to another, or they continue to date the same kind of guy. And oftentimes it's the same kind of guy, and all he did was really change names. And what's happening is, it's not really has anything to do with the guys, but it has everything to do with themselves because they weren't willing to put in the work. And so what I'm trying to make you understand is sometimes you got to be willing to work while you wait. Listen carefully. You got to be willing to work while you wait. Waiting is literally the time that you need to be preparing for your opportunity. And so don't look at waiting as punishment, but rather, as Mandy Hale said, look at waiting as an opportunity for you to prepare. And so here's what I know. That many of you, you are about to experience a breakthrough. The perfect opportunity is going to come your way, but you have to be willing to wait just a tad bit longer. But during the time that you're waiting, you need to continue to put in the work. You need to continue to work on your craft. You need to continue to develop your skills. You need to continue to work on the connections and the things that you're putting forward. You need to build out your infrastructure. So when the opportunity finally comes, you'll be able to take full advantage of it. And sometimes all we got to learn to do is just simply wait. So do me a favor right now. Put your fingers to the keyboard because we need some people to understand that. Go ahead and just put hashtag wait for it. Hashtag wait for it. Put your fingers on the keyboard, hashtag wait for it, because I firmly believe that there's a lot of us that unfortunately the reason why we do not accomplish the things that we want to accomplish in our lives is because we don't have the patience and we don't have the willingness to simply wait. And if you can just start exercising the discipline of waiting, but yet working while you wait, listen carefully, working while you wait. And so that means that you are preparing for the opportunity that you have not yet had. Listen, it's been said by Whitney Young. Here's what he said. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have it than to have an opportunity and not be prepared for it. And so one of the things that we have to simply learn to do is simply wait for it. So do me a favor, hashtag wait for it. Hashtag wait for it. I see you, Roz. I see you, Zoe. I see you, Anita. I see you, Myra. Hashtag wait for it. Because people have to understand the wait. I'm telling you, I can't imagine. I'm telling you, I've done it myself, right? Where I thought I was ready for something. I was anxious and I wanted to make it happen right away, only to realize through the process of waiting and continuing to put some other things in place, only to realize that the thing that I thought I was ready for, I really wasn't ready for it. And had it came when I wanted it, I would have messed the opportunity up because it would have been premature. I would not have been prepared for it. I would not have been able to take full advantage of it. And so I need you to understand very firmly, I need you to understand this, is that you got to be willing to wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, hashtag wait for it. Do me a favor right now, hit the share button, because I know that there's somebody who can get something from this message that is going to be able to create a shift and a change in their life. Somebody is sitting on the sidelines, they're sick and tired of waiting, and they're thinking about throwing in the towel. They're sick and tired of waiting for that right relationship to show up. They're tired of waiting for the right opportunity to show up. They're tired of waiting for the promotion. They're tired of waiting for their gift to finally be acknowledged by people around them. And what I need them to understand is sometimes you just got to continue to wait just a tad bit longer. And during that time that you wait, understand that you want to use your waiting time as preparation time. Why? Because I told you, you got to prepare for the opportunity that you have not yet had. And so I'm telling you over and over again, people just forget about the importance of waiting. You'll be surprised of what can happen in your life over a 1 month period, over a 6 month period, over a 1 year period, because you're waiting, but you're working, you're preparing, you're developing your craft. I'll never forget this. You know, when my wife was pregnant last year, you know, when we got towards the tail end of her pregnancy, when she was maybe about 7 months pregnant or so, you know, she was looking like, you know, she was ready to give labor and so forth. And we would be out and about. And sometimes people just, you know, nonchalant, they didn't understand what they were saying. And so joking around, they'd be like, whoa, you look like you're ready to have the baby right now. You're ready to have the baby right away. And me and my wife would be like, no, 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 no. No, 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 you don't understand. We got another 2 months. Now, they probably didn't understand why we reacted like that, why we took it so serious. I mean, obviously, they're just trying to say that my wife looks like she's at full term. But the reason why we reacted like that is because we understood that the final weeks of a pregnancy, there's so much additional development that's happening. The baby's brain is growing at lightning speed. The baby's lungs are still fully developing. There are so many things that are happening that are so critical and so important during that waiting period of the last couple of weeks of the pregnancy, that there's so many things that are taking place. And so here's what I want you to understand, that when a baby is born prematurely, that there's so many risks and so many hazards, and there's a greater likelihood of a fatality, of disease, of basically being behind developmentally. And here's what I need you to understand. When you get your dream prematurely, when you get that promotion prematurely, when you get those finances prematurely, in other words, when you get it before you're ready for it, then guess what happens? It's not sustainable. You're not able to hold on to it. You're not able to make it grow. You're not able to nurture it. And you're not able to leverage it to additional opportunities. And so what you need to understand is, listen carefully, if you're still waiting for it, it means that maybe possibly you're not yet ready for it. Now, whatever it may be, that's what Mandy Hale said, whatever it may be. So it may be a husband, it may be a wife, it may be some financial breakthrough. It may in fact be that you are waiting on a promotion. It can be so many things, but what if whatever it is that you've been waiting for, that you think that you want right now in your life, what if you're not yet ready for it? What if you got to put in a little more work? What if you got to stretch yourself? What if you got to continue to develop your skill set? What if you have to build out the infrastructure so that whatever it is that you're looking to get, so that it can actually be sustainable? And so I want you to understand that there is great value in you taking the time to actually just wait. Oh, I know waiting is hard. I know that you don't want to do it. Nobody likes to wait. Half the time you warm something up in the microwave, you put it in, and you can't even wait the 1 minute, 2 minutes for it to warm up in the microwave. You're already opening up the microwave door because you don't even want to wait a minute. And so we live in a microwave type society. We don't want to wait. But let me help you understand, there's some things that are worth waiting for, like your dreams, your goals, those things that are most important for you. Those things are worth waiting for. Like having your breakthrough is worth waiting for. Being able to live out your purpose and your calling is worth waiting for. Being able to have that ideal dream job that you've been trying to make happen is worth waiting for. Getting into a healthy, happy relationship is worth waiting for. There are so many things in life that are worth waiting for. And so all you have to be willing to do is to build the discipline, to build up the muscle so that you have the ability to wait when others are being anxious, when others are rushing towards the finish line. If you can wait, but wait on it, if you can work while you wait, don't forget that part. I'm not talking about waiting and throwing your feet up and doing absolutely nothing. No, no, no. I'm talking about if you can learn how to work while you wait. In other words, that means during your season of working, for those of you who said, you know what, people don't understand this. I tell them all the time. When I made the decision that I wanted to become a speaker and I wanted to develop my voice, I knew that I had to wait before my time and my opportunities would come. But I also knew that while I was waiting, that I should be working. And so I was constantly pacing back and forth in my living room and practicing delivering talks and delivering speeches. I would go in my backyard and I would act like the trees in my backyard were the audience, and I would talk to the trees and develop speeches and say things to the trees. I remember one particular time doing that. One of my neighbors came out in their backyard. She looked over at me. She thought I was crazy. She said, what is he doing back there? But see, what I was doing is I was working while I was waiting. I would record my messages into a tape recorder, and then I would send the message to my friends after the fact, and I would ask them to listen to the message and give me some input and give me some feedback. And all I was doing all during those moments is I was waiting for my opportunity, but I was working while I was waiting. And so what I need you to understand is this, that your opportunity is going to come. Your breakthrough is going to show up. The opportunity of a lifetime is going to show up. You will be able to grow the business. You will get the promotion. Mr. Right or Mrs. Right is going to show up in your life. But the only question is when those opportunities show up, when that man shows up, when that woman shows up, when that promotion shows up, when those things show up, will you be ready? Would you have put in the work during that waiting season? Would you have put in the time during the waiting season? That's the real question. And so you need to understand that waiting at all times literally helps you to build the discipline. It helps you to build the muscle. And so I want you to go ahead right now, put your fingers on the keyboard and just right now, because I know somebody needs to really, really get this particular hashtag. They got to understand. And I want you to remind your friends, your family members, that look like they're about to throw in the towel, that are about to give up on their dream, give up on their business, give up on finding Mr. Right, or give up on finding that perfect wife, that are about to give up on something that's important to them. And I want you to remind them that you got to wait for it. And then perhaps if you're still waiting for it, then perhaps you're not ready for it. Now, they don't want to hear that. They may not want to hear that, but sometimes you got to tell them the truth. Hashtag truth. Hashtag truth. You got to tell people the truth that time. And so here's what I want you to do right now. Do me a favor. Put your fingers on the keyboard. Two things. Make sure you hit the share button because I know that there's somebody that needs to hear this message. And then the other thing is go ahead and put hashtag wait for it. Hashtag wait for it. Because somebody is sitting on the sidelines and they don't want to wait. I'll never forget this. I have a rental property, and the driveway for the rental property, because of the South Florida heat, the heat was beating down on the driveway so much. It was a blacktop driveway. I'm sure you're probably familiar with blacktop driveways where they pour, it's like some tar that they put on top and so forth. And so with the South Florida heat and the sun hitting on it so much, eventually those blacktop driveways, they begin to fade. And so what you have to do is you have to get them recoated and resealed. And so I'll never forget this. I made a call and I called out a company and I said, hey, listen, you know what? My driveway, it needs to be sealed. I need it to be re-tarred, re-blacktopped, or whatever you want to call it. And I called the company out and the guy came out to give me an estimate. And I could tell this guy was hungry for business. And he looked at me, he said, man, I could do this job right now. And so I remember that particular day. It was a cloudy day. I looked up. I said, man, it's pretty cloudy outside. I know normally when you do these jobs, man, aren't you supposed to wait 24 hours, make sure it's not raining? He said, yeah, there's some crowds up there, man. But he said, I could do this job right now. I said, listen, I don't think that we should do this job right now. I think we should wait, because if we do it right now, there's a possibility you're going to have to do this all over again. He said, listen, don't worry. If it rains, if something happens, I'll come back and do it. I said, can I get that in writing? He said, absolutely. And so he pulled out his contract. It said if anything happened, he wrote something in that he'd come back and do it. I said, man, you sure you don't want to wait? Literally, I'm looking at the forecast, not tomorrow, but the day after you can come back and do this. He insisted. He said, no, I don't want to wait. I could do this right now. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Well, lo and behold, what do you think happened? I watched this man with my own two eyes spend a good hour and a half redoing the entire driveway, sealing it. I exchanged the money. I paid the man. And I promise you, it was about an hour later, it started coming down, thunderstorming and raining. And I looked at all the stuff that he put on the driveway with the rain beating down on it. I saw everything that he applied on the driveway just begin to dissolve and come up. And all it looked like is a little mud puddle out there, because all the work that he did basically got washed away. And of course, you know, I called him on the phone and said, listen, man, I told you to wait, but you didn't want to wait. And 2-3 days later, he had to come back out and do it all over again. And you say, why? Why would you want to go through that work all over again? Why would you want to just do all that all over again? Well, I'll tell you why. Because he didn't have the patience to just wait. And there are so many of us right now, we're in the process of doing something, but it's not finished yet. And you're trying to go ahead and push it out there. And you want people to go ahead and bring you in to speak. You want to get those new coaching clients. You want to get the new business. You want to make some great things happen, but you're not really ready for it. You still need to wait. You need to work while you wait. You need to put in some more time so that when the opportunity presents itself, you can take full advantage of it. And so I need you to understand is sometimes you just need to wait. You say, well, Andy, why do I need to wait? I want to remind you what Mandy Hale said. I'm repeating it again. She says, if you're waiting on it, then that means that maybe possibly you're not ready for it. Now, I don't know what it is for you. It may be a husband, a wife, a financial breakthrough, an opportunity, a promotion. It can mean a lot of things. But what if this thing that you believe that you want so bad, what if you're not really ready for it? What if you still need to put in some work? What if you still need to continue to work while you wait? Listen, you need to work while you wait so that when the opportunity shows up, you can take advantage of it. And I told you once, and I'll tell you again, you got to prepare and train for the opportunity that you have not yet had. And listen carefully, you got to use your waiting time as preparation time. You got to use your waiting time as preparation time. And so here's what I say to you. What if right now, while you were waiting, that you decided to put in the work? What if you worked on yourself while you're waiting on that relationship? What if you worked on yourself and worked in your business and worked on your business as you waited for that amazing opportunity, as you waited for your new customers and your new clients? What if you worked on yourself as you waited for the promotion? What if you continued to develop your mindset? What if you continued to get some coaching? What if you continued to hone in on your craft? What if you continued to deal with some of your past failures and disappointments? What if you deal with some of that stuff that you still haven't dealt with back in your childhood, so that when the relationship does show up, so that when the opportunity does show up, you can take full advantage of it? What if you learned how to work while you wait? What would happen then? How would the opportunity change? What kind of breakthrough would you experience? And so I just want to remind you that you just got to, sometimes you got to learn to just wait for it. So one more time, do me a favor. I know some of you are jumping in on this tail end. Put hashtag wait for it, hashtag wait for it. The reason why I have you put these hashtags is because sometimes it sort of piques curiosity and people say, well, what is this hashtag wait for it? And then they end up hearing a part of the message that ends up creating a shift for them. And the other thing that I want you to do for me right now, as you tune in, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the share button, hit the share button. As a matter of fact, do me a favor, when you're done sharing this message, put hashtag shared, hashtag shared. That's just gonna be your way of letting me know that you took the time to actually share this message, because I believe that you got a friend, you got a family member, you got an acquaintance, somebody who's connected with you on social media that needs to hear this message. Somebody who's been waiting and they're getting tired of waiting. They're thinking about throwing in that towel, and they simply got to learn to just simply wait for it. You got to learn to wait for it. Yes, Roz, you got to wait for it. Yes, Shaquita, you got to wait for it. Yes, Sheila, you got to wait for it. Yes, Anita, you got to wait for it. I'm telling you, you got to learn to simply wait for it. And so I'm going to end by telling you this. I told you this again. If you're still waiting for it, listen, if you're still waiting for it, it means that there's a possibility that you're not ready for it. And so what you got to learn to start doing, is to work while you wait. Listen carefully. You got to work while you wait. And I believe if you're willing to put in the work during the time that you're waiting, if you continue to work on your mind, continue to work on your skills, continue to build the right team, to build the foundation, when the opportunity finally does show up, and trust me, it's going to show up. When your time finally does come up, because your time will come, when the breakthrough opportunity finally does appear, and it will appear, then you'll be able to take full advantage. Then you'll be able to make some extraordinary things happen. And so remember, listen carefully, if you're still waiting for it, it just might mean that you're not ready for it. And so what you got to do is continue to put in the effort, continue to put in the work, and to work while you wait. Work while you wait. Now, here's something I want to share with you. Some of you may or may not know, I did a live stream training last week. People had to register to be part of this training. And in this particular training, what I shared is what I call the #1 strategy to get your audience to be able to connect with your story. So there are many of you right now, you have a desire to be a speaker, to maybe perhaps be a coach. Some of you have a book in you, or you already put out a book. Some of you have a business, you're in a service business or a product-based business, and you're looking to influence people and bring them in. And I believe one of the best tools for you to be able to do that is through your story, because your story allows you to create genuine connection with people. And once you create good connection with people, then you can influence them to actually take action. And so I did a live stream training last week. It's called the #1 strategy to get audiences to connect with your story. And it was a training that I did last week. And literally, I had a couple of hundred people that actually signed up for this training and that were able to join me on a private page. And I did give some people private access in one of my groups. But if for some reason you were not able to be a part of that training, I want you to catch the replay, because I shared some great nuggets that's going to help you to be able to leverage your story and leverage your message so that you can better connect with people. So I want you to go right now to get access to the replay. So really, really easy. For you to get access to the replay, here's all that you got to do. You're going to head over to SUFYLTV.com. And so what that stands for is showupforyourlifetv.com. And you can type in either one. One of them is a shortcut. So if you want to take the shortcut, you can go ahead and type in SUFYLTV.com. And that stands for showupforyourlifetv.com. Both of those websites are going to take you to the same place. And once you get there to showupforyourlifetv.com, or when you get to sufyltv.com, either one. When you get there, all you're going to do is you're going to see a little information about this live stream training that I did. Fill out the information, and you're going to get immediate access to the replay of the training. And I assure you of this, that you're going to get some fantastic nuggets from that live stream training. I tell you, I got some emails, I got some text messages, I got some instant IM messages through Facebook from people who are a part of that training and told me that they were able to get a wonderful takeaway and some great things that's going to help them to leverage their story so that they can better connect with their customers and their clients and their audience. So real quickly, if for some reason you missed the training, you weren't registered for the training, you don't have access to the training, here's all that we want you to do. Head on over to showupforyourlifetv.com, showupforyourlifetv.com, and you'll be able to go ahead and register real quick so that you can get immediate access to the replay of the Show Up for Your Life live stream training that I did that was called the #1 strategy to get your audience to be able to connect with your story. It was a fantastic training, and I know you're going to get some wonderful takeaways from it. And so hopefully you got some great input from tonight, but most importantly, you were inspired tonight to just wait a little longer. I know that waiting could be very frustrating. You know, waiting on your goals, waiting on your dreams, waiting on a promotion, waiting on the perfect opportunity could be very frustrating. But what I've also learned is that sometimes if you're still waiting, that there's a possibility. What it means is that you're not yet ready for it. And so what it means is that you got to continue to put in the work. And so you got to learn to work while you wait. And if you can exercise the discipline of working while you're waiting, fantastic things will begin to happen, and you'll be able to leverage your next opportunity. So listen, we're about to sign off, family. Hey, but for those of you who are joining me right now on the live stream, do me a quick favor. Before you go ahead and sign out, go ahead and hit the share button. But go ahead and drop a quick line right now so I could give you a shout out real quick. Put hashtag wait. Just put the hashtag wait so I could give you a shout out before we go ahead and sign off on the live stream training. And just put hashtag wait so that way I could give you a quick shout out before we go ahead and sign off. But listen, I want to thank you guys for showing up each and every week and join me on the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. And I want to give a shout out, of course, to those of you who are signed out. Shout out to Roz Jones, who is part of my Master Storyteller Academy family. Roz out of Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out to Kimberly Seabrooks. I see you, Kimberly. Hashtag wait. Hashtag wait. Shout out to Andrew Simpson. What's going on, Andrew, out of California? Andrew is a leadership coach. Andrew's going to be joining me and many other people in September for the next Master Storyteller Academy, which is going to take place in September in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shout out to Andrew Simpson. Shout out to Shakita Lee Boggle. Want to give a shout out to Shakita. And you know what? Matter of fact, let me mention this because I didn't mention it. So let me go ahead and put this down right now. Some of you want to head on over to this website. I'm typing it in right now. Hold on, let me make sure I type this in. My wife says I'm not always the best at multitasking. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to type this in as I'm speaking. But some of you may in fact know that you have a story and you want to be able to develop the story because you have a desire to become a professional speaker or a coach, or you are a business owner and you want to be able to attract more customers and more clients and people in. And so if you're interested in joining me for my next Master Storyteller Academy, which is a fantastic transformational 3-day training experience in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The next one is going to take place on September 7th through the 9th. Here's what you want to do. You want to head on over to masterstorytelleracademy.com. One more time, you're going to head over to masterstorytelleracademy.com. When you get there, fill out the very quick application, and that's going to allow somebody from my team is going to connect with you so that we can provide you with all the details that you need to figure out whether or not the Master Storyteller Academy is for you. I can tell you right now that those who come through the Master Storyteller Academy, their stories, their messages get completely transformed so that they feel more empowered, their confidence levels through the roof, so that they can be able to better equip themselves to get more customers, more clients, so that they can get more speaking engagements, so that they'll be invited back, so that they'll be able to influence more people to purchase their books if they're an author, And so listen, if you are a speaker, a coach, or author, or a service-based business owner, and you want to raise your platform, you want to be able to take your skills to the next level, and you know that you have a powerful story and you want to leverage that story, listen, you want to be there at the Master Storyteller Academy. So I want to put that out there because you definitely want to head on over there to make sure you register. But listen, family, our time is up. I got to get out of here. I thank you so much for joining me for the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. If you haven't already done so, make sure before you sign out, you go ahead and hit the share button, and also make sure you go ahead and type in hashtag wait. And of course, I want to say thank you. You are more than welcome. Zoe said thank you, Andy, for the replay. You are more than welcome. Once again, you can get the replay to this live stream training I did by going to sufyltv.com, which is basically an abbreviation for showupforyourlifetv.com. You can type the whole thing out or you can abbreviate it. Either way, you can head on over there, put in your information, and you'll get access to the live stream training that I did. You'll get immediate replay access. Listen, family, I thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me. I'll see you same time, same place next week for the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational movement. Thank you so much. I'm out. God bless. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent.